Going on, Pokemon fans? Epilepsy finally back, bringing you awesome Pokemon content. Now, I used to be video game. I'm TCG. As you guys can see, I've gone to pre-releases, and I go to weekly tournaments pretty much. I have a League Cup down in Anchorage I'd like to go, and we've all been kind of playtesting. A bunch of them are going to Seattle, so been playtesting, especially my friend. He came last night to hang out and playtest his Sylveon deck, and while he was playtesting Sylveon deck, I decided to playtest this new Garbodor Drampa GX deck. So I kind of just want to hop into this because this deck is going to explode, I think, and I want to be one of the first people that kind of throw this out there. So let's just get right into this. To have a Drampa GX deck, you need at least 3 Drampa GX. And Drampa GX has 180 HP. It's a colorless Pokemon. And its attacks, for 1 colorless energy, Righteous Edge does 20 damage. And you get to discard a special energy off your opponent's active Pokemon. It's great. You can slow down opponents. Sylveon won't be able to really keep doing its main attack. Well, not its main attack. Its second attack, which costs a Fairy Energy and a double colorless energy. You could potentially slow down things such as Mewtwo, who will run DCE. You got Lycanrocs, who run DCE, but I don't know why you would want to be using Drampa against a Lycanroc, because it'll hit you for weakness. And you also would be stopping things that will be holding Rainbow Energies, Greninja decks that are holding the Splash Energies. I think Turtonator could be coming out of the woodwork and holding, was it Burning Energy or something like that? Just special energy in general, we need to be able to discard it. It's mainly DCE, because a lot of Pokemon are running on DCE, Trevenant, even Decidueye. So, discarding any special energy is not bad. I mean, if it had a little extra damage, it'd be a lot better. Kind of be like Lycanroc GX midday form. Does, 30 damage and discards any energy, though. This is just a little weaker, and it doesn't tech as easy into things like Lycanroc GX could do, but it's still a good thing. Pop a Choice Band, you can do 50 damage to GX and EX Pokemon. But the main attack that we will be using is Berserk. Berserk, for 3 colorless energies, you do 80 damage, plus 70 more if Pokemon on your bench have damage counters. You will have a Pokemon on your bench with a damage counter. There are just ways around it to make it so your Pokemon have damage counters. There's Team Magma Base, there's Rainbow Energies, I'm pretty sure there's other ways that you can get it. There are ways to get damage counters onto your bench, and you're gonna see the way I do it. It's not really too original, but it's kind of weird that I don't run Team Magma Base. For its GX attack, we have, for 1 colorless energy, Big Wheel GX, which I feel is the greatest GX attack early game. For 1 colorless energy, Big Wheel GX, you get to shuffle your hand into your deck and then draw 10 cards. It's an insane holla. After you use the GX attack, you can actually holla and do the same thing and just get 7 cards, but getting 10 cards early game can really help you with your momentum. Yes, people will argue, oh, you're just going to get end and lose all those cards. Yes and no, because I needed a new hand anyway. Say I played everything, I don't have anything in my hand, I Big Wheel GX. They can end me all they want, I'm still going to get a fresh 6 cards. I'm not going to complain. That's why it's a great early game. I actually got Delinquited. My friend that runs Sylveon that came last night, he played Delinquent, lost all 3 cards, top decked his Psychic Energy, and got my Big Wheel GX. And yeah, it kind of like saved the game. But that's enough about Drampa. Let's get into the stars of the show. We are also running for Trubbish, I run the 4 Stomp Off Trubbish because I like to be able to kind of mill my opponent's deck and potentially put more item cards into their discard pile. On top of that, we are also going to be running 3 of the Trash Phalange Garbodors. Trash Phalange, for 1 Psychic Energy, you do 20 times the number of item cards in your opponent's discard pile. There are many decks running a lot of items. We got Lapras, we have Decidueye Plume, we have Sylveon. Even Garbodor decks are running a ton of items. Items are just a staple in this meta, and Garbodor is starting to slow that down, which is awesome. People will work around this. They will stop playing items. That's why I kind of like stomping off with Trubbish if I need to, or, you know, just, I have other ways. You're about to see the greatest way that I will deal with, getting items into the discard pile, or if my opponent refuses to play items at all. So, we do also have Acid Spray, which is for a Psychic and a double colorless. It does 70 damage, and if you flip a coin, if heads, you can remove an energy off your opponent's active Pokemon. We're not going to really be using this. I don't think I'm ever going to be using this. So, yeah, we're going to just be doing Trash Avalanche. We also run 1 Garbotoxin Garbodor just for the ability. It's great when you slap on a tool card like a Choice Band or even a Float Zone. Preferably a Float Zone. You just get the Garbotoxin and stop abilities. Decidueye, Volcanion, even Evolutions. You just Wally first turn. You can stop a lot of decks in their tracks, especially Tapu Koko and Sylveon. I feel are pretty annoying right now, and at least for first turn basic Pokemon. I mean, also Volcanion is an annoying Pokemon right now. Now, for the next group of Pokemon, it's kind of a little bit weird. I'm running a Phantom, a Trevenant, both the grass types from Guardians Rising. I prefer to use this in combination with Garbodor for the move Poltergeist for 2 colorless energies. Your opponent reveals their hand. This attack does 30 times the number of trainer cards in your opponent's hand. They're not going to play item cards because they see Trubbish and Garb on the bench. You put Trevenant out there. Trevenant will do massive damage if they're just going to start holding items. Sylveon, Magical Ribbon, a lot of times are grabbing items like a supporter or discard. You play Trevenant, they're going to be forced to get rid of that hand. They don't want to hold their items because you're doing massive damage. Throw a Choice Band, do an extra 30 after this. Now, it also helps with the Garbodor matchup because I also run Trevenant Break. It gives me the Psychic typing, which allows me to hit for super effective damage against Garbodor. 2 trainer cards in their hand, I one-shot Garbodors. That's pretty awesome. Also, Trevenant Break does have 160 HP, so it gets an extra 40 from its prior Trevenant, and also it gets the dual typing, I'm pretty sure, Grass Psychic, which allows me to hit Lycanroc for super effective damage, which Drampa's weak against, and it allows me to hit Mewtwo and Garbodor, and anything that's weak against Psychic types for super effective damage. Also Lapras, because Lapras is also weak against Grass. So, it's a kind of a weird tech-in. And yes, I'm pretty sure it's going to be prized eventually, and that's going to really stink. I am probably going to bump this up to a 2-2-1 line, because the break is really the tech, and the Trevenant with the Trash Phalange Garbodor is the combo that I think is going to be seen somewhere at a regionals coming up. Maybe Seattle. If I went to Seattle, I would be bringing this, but I could not make it to Seattle because I unfortunately do not have the funds or the time off work. Now, for the last Pokemon, I do run 1 Tapu Lele GX. It's pretty straightforward. Ability Wonder Tag. You get to search your deck for a supporter card if you play this card onto your bench from your hand. It's pretty much the new Shaman. It's going to be a staple in every deck, but this card has something that Shaman doesn't really have. It has an ability to attack. For 2 colorless energies, Energy Drive, it does 20 times the number of energy cards attached to both active Pokemon do not apply weakness or resistance. It's amazing. It's just amazing. It's Mewtwo mixed with Jirachi EX, and they just made the perfect child. It does have the Tapu Lele GX for 1 Psychic Energy. We will not be using that, mainly because Drampa needs Pokemon to be injured on our bench. But it heals fully 2 bench Pokemon. I mean, if Drampa has a lot of damage, or Trevenant has a lot of damage, I can heal them and just start going back on with my Rampage if I really need to, but usually first turn or second turn, I am going to be going Big Wheel GX. So, those are for the Pokemon. For the stadiums, I am going to be running 2 Silent Lab and 1 Altar of Moon. Running Silent Labs just to stop those first turn Sylveons, those Tapu Kokos coming in, pretty much those. Volcanion as well, but they run a ton of stadiums, so it's kind of a stadium war. But it's really just to stop Sylveon and Tapu Koko. I know they run the Ether Field Conservation Area, and I mean, I think it's Fairy Garden for Sylveon. I mean, Sylveon can probably run a lot more as well. It's not going to be completely reliant on Fairy Garden. But it's a great way to just stop, or at least slow down, your opponent's basic Pokemon. And I run Alter because a lot of these Pokemon do have high retreat. Trevenant has 2, Drampa has 2, and my Garbodors both have 3. You attach a Psychic Energy to one of these Pokemon, and every Pokemon except for my Garbodor gets free retreat then. Garbodor will just cost 1 Psychic Energy, which is still way better than 2 Psychic Energies, or 3 Psychic Energies, or just 3 energies in general. So it just makes it easier for me to retreat if I need to. The items, we are pretty stapled for items. We run 4 Ultra Ball, which is pretty straightforward. Discard 2 cards and search your deck for a Pokemon. 4 VS Seekers. You search your discard pile for a supporter card. Now, 2 Field Blower. It's really crucial that we play 2 Field Blower. I used to play 1. It was never enough when my opponent kept, just putting on a new Choice Band, or Fighting Fury Belt, or even a Float Stone. This allows you to keep doing that. If they have a pesky stadium and you can't really get your stadiums up, you can just get rid of the stadium, or do what I do, put a Choice Band onto your Garbotoxic Garbodor just to lock their ability, even though it's up front, Field Blower it away, put a Float Stone on it, and send it back. It's just a weird combo to get rid of my own item and own tool card, but if I really needed it, I had to get the Choice Band off. Field Blower was the greatest way to do that. It's just a weird combo, and I'm actually a huge fan of it. Also, to help me retreat, I do play only 1 switch. Like I said, Alter, if I can get Alter up, I don't really worry too much. And I also play the 2 Float Stones. So if I can get Float Stone somewhere, it's okay. As well, for my tool cards, for the last of the tool cards, we are running 3 Choice Band. It's going to be the staple in every single deck. You do 30 more damage to EX and GX Pokemon. We are in a meta surrounded by EX and GX. You are going to see decks like Garbodor who can essentially run off of non-EX and GX Pokemon. I've seen a few people just run strictly non-EX and GX decks. There's Passimian. It could be Garbodor. Vileplume Trevenant. Those are decks that Choice Band won't really help you. But then again, if you're going against Vileplume Trevenant, you don't really have a chance of playing your items anyway, so Choice Band is pretty useless. But everything is pretty much straightforward. You can easily do this. For our supporter cards, I do run 1 Brock's Grit. It's been nothing but great. I hate getting my Pokemon discarded or my energy's getting discarded, I feel I should run maybe a special charge eventually. But I like Rock's Grit. It allows me to get my Garbodors back, my Trubbish back, my Drampas, my Tapu Lele's, and my it gets me everything I need. Just Trubbish, Trevenants, Phantoms, Trevenant Break, Drampa, all my Pokemon. I have a chance of getting them back, or my energies, my basic energies. We also run another weird tech, Team Rocket's Handiwork, very similar to why I actually run Stomp Off. People are going to stop playing items, and I don't like them not playing items. So the best way to make people play items is definitely mill them so they have to play items. That's pretty much it. It's not really needing of an explanation. I do want to run one Olympia. You switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon, and you heal 30 damage off your active Pokemon. Just another way to switch if I need to. We run one Professor Kukui. You draw 2 cards, and you also do 20 extra damage to your opponent's active Pokemon that turn. So it's the difference between getting a 1-shot on a Sylveon and a 2-shot on a Sylveon. Drampa, you got Pokemon on your bench with damage counters. You do 150. You hold Choice Band, it does 180. You add the Kukui, you're doing 200 damage, which is just enough to KO Lycanroc, Umbreon, Espeon, Sylveon, the other Lycanroc too. You have both Lycanrocs. You can one-shot, actually, non-Fighting Fury Bell Tauros and Lapras. I think the only basic Pokemon you really won't be KOing is Wailord and Wishy-Washy, because they are both over 200, with Wishy-Washy being, 220, and Wailord being 250. So you're able to do a lot of damage and get some very crucial KOs there. For the next supporter, we are running Wally, because first turn Wally is amazing when you need Garbotoxin up. Say they are running Tapu Koko or some other ability-reliant deck like Decidueye Plume. You just run Wally. They can no longer run Decidueye Plume, and they need to somehow get rid of your item. Which, they're probably going to be running Field Blowers. But it's a nice way to slow them down if you need to. And, hey, you could even manage to get a Stomp Off first turn and mill the Field Blower or whatever. It could happen. Now, for my draw supporters, I do run a really weird line of draw supporters. So don't judge me. It's just a very consistent way. I run 2 Sycamore. I run also 2 N. And since I usually Big Wheel GX, I run 2 Hala. Sycamore, discard your hand and draw 7 cards. And you shuffle your hand into your deck and draw the same amount of cards as your prizes. And Hala, you shuffle your hand into your deck. And if you did a GX attack, you draw 7. But if you haven't, you do only 4. Really awesome. I feel Hala is going to be really consistent with this deck because it's so easy to get off a GX attack. It costs 1 energy. You can literally do it first turn, and it will give you so much momentum. Discarding is not really what I wanted to do to get 7 cards into my hand. So that's why I opted to take out 2 Sycamore. And N is really awesome until late game when I don't really need to draw just 2. I need to draw more. So I opted to go for Hala. Hala at least gives me 4 cards, which I can work with 4 cards. Even if they delinquent me, I could even get, keep a draw supporter or an energy that could change the game. Or I just get the 7 cards, fresh new hand, and my opponent just sits there and they just can't stop me. For the last supporter card, we do run Lysander, because Lysander is great. You get to choose one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and switch it with their active. Pretty straightforward. It's also an easy way to get KOs on things that your opponent's trying to hide on their bench. For the energies, we do run 4 rainbow energies, because when you place this, it counts as any energy, any type of energy on your active Pokemon or any of your Pokemon. So it's a colorless energy that provides any energy. The little side effect of this is you do 10 damage to your Pokemon that you place it on, which helps Drampa get that extra boost. You throw this on a Trubbish, or throw it on a Trevenant, or throw it on your Tapu, you're going to be doing 150 damage at least with Drampa when you get Drampa. Yes, this does take 3 turns to power up, but your first turn you're going to Big Wheel GX. Your second turn, if they have a special energy, you can just Righteous Edge, or you can even just put the DCE on Drampa and hit for 80, which poking is still good. I prefer to actually go for Righteous Edge. Poking that low of damage allows people, like, makes your opponent think, oh, okay, he's not doing enough damage, he might be stuck, and then you throw the Rainbow Energy on one of your Pokemon, you hit for 150, and if you're holding Choice Band, you just KO'd a Sylveon, because you just hit for 180, and you did poke damage for 120. I usually Choice Band Righteous Edge anyway, and I do 50, so Sylveon is really worried, but that's just me. I also do run 4 Psychic Energies, because Psychic Energies is pretty much the only color energy you need to run in this deck besides Rainbow. And we run 4 DCE as well. DCE is just great. Trevenant runs off DCE, Tapu Lele runs off DCE, and Drampa runs off DCE. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope this deck gets somewhere. I am going to probably playtest a few more times. Maybe tweak it a little bit so I can get more Trevenant and Phantom. Maybe run a 2-2 line instead, and maybe run a 3-4 line of the Trubbish. Because usually I don't use all 4 Trubbish. I usually only use 2 at max because I need 1 Trash Avalanche. And if I need it, Garbotoxin, or I have just 2 Trash Avalanches. So I may do something like that. I am still just going to keep the Trevenant Break as a 1 of, because it's just kind of there as attack. I'm not using its attack, Silent Fear. I don't care if I can place damage counters anywhere, like all on their Pokemon. I mean, it will get me 1-shots if I need it, but it's not too important. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys share this. I want this to explode. If you guys have any other suggestions of how this deck could potentially run, leave it in the comment section below. And I guess it's good to be back, guys. I'll be having pack openings for you, hopefully this week. If not tomorrow, definitely Sunday, maybe. So, until next time, guys. Later.